Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Victor Adetiba, and I am your host on today's episode of ScrumMaster Circle of Success, where we interview different people who have gone through what we affectionately call the program to transition to a new career as a Scrum Master. And today I have the pleasure, the honor of interviewing none other than Mr. Brandon Massenberg. Brandon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, man. Doing very well. So tell me about yourself. Tell me about how you got started in Scrum, really. But I want to kind of go back to kind of what your career was before getting into Scrum. So tell me about like high school life, family life, how you grew up, where you grew up, and then kind of where you transitioned to working after you got out of high school. Is that a lot?
That's a lot, dude.
All
That's
right. So
my entire
let's
life story.
let's start with where are you from?
Okay, that's the easy one. I'm born and raised in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
My parents from East Texas, and this is kind of the origin story. I guess you were asking about.
Sure.
Number 10 of 11 kids.
Wow.
Linda and Leo Massenberg. They moved here from East Texas and started a big family. To be fruitful and multiply. So from that, growing up, I guess after high school and a little bit of college, I got into retail sales, Radio Shack, Sprint store, Verizon store, was really into that. Um, and actually that's how I met a lot of my friends. Like I met you through, through your cousin, just many, many, many moons ago now.
Right.
But yeah, so just meandered my way through retail at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So went into financial services through becoming a loan officer for a little while. Got into investments, doing that for J.P. Morgan for a little while, and then ended up getting
Mm-hmm.
into insurance before becoming a Scrum Master.
Sure. And so, um, kind of in that path, in that the time that you have been working, what was the highest annual salary you had hit up until that point?
Well, a lot of those years was commission based, so
Okay.
my
So
income
it's
was
either
like,
feast or famine.
yeah, feast and famine, and it was a lot
So,
of famines in there, a few feasts in there, but
so give me
but
a famine year. What's a famine year look like?
a famine year. I remember. I think you remember this too. It was like 30 or something like that. 25, 30.
30K?
Yeah, 25, 30K.
Okay.
That was some low years like that, but good years. 80, 88. I think 89 or whatever after taxes. What I had made one of those good years. One of those
Sure.
decent years rather. So
Sure. Okay. And
mhm.
so, what was it that kind of prompted you to want to transition to a career in tech, or did you want to actually make that transition?
Well, I've always been, I've always liked tech. Even my mom to this day, she says she calls me Radio Shack. She's like, you got questions? He's got answers because I'm always tinkering with things and stuff like that. So I've always been interested in tech, and for a couple years I wanted to get into becoming a developer. I just never really, 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 pulled the trigger on that to really
Sure.
actually go down the boot camps and learning all that piece. But how I got into tech was really through you. You had mentioned a couple things a few years ago. You mentioned the AWS certification. I think
Sure.
you were telling since you were telling us about that. And I think you were doing some IT work for one of the companies that you work for. And I was looking for transition. And you being the good friend that you are, he was like, "Hey, you should come check this out." And I was like, "Okay, you sure? You sure? You sure?" He said, "Yeah, come check this out. Work your way and learn the game. Get the ins and outs, get some certifications, and actually try to get some experience, get my foot in the door."
Sure.
And once I did that, now I am where I am now. So
Sure. So tell me about that first IT role that you got and kind of what you were doing and what your experience was like there.
my first IT role, I was help desk. I was doing some help desk work. So, like IT, not really any programming or anything like that, but it was
Sure.
just uh, um, what we would do. We would do. I can't even get the words out now. Just so many years ago, but we would do things like
It was
like
Office
wiping.
365 support, right?
yeah, Office 365. Oh yeah, you remember Office 365 support. So supporting, middle-sized companies with migration, so migrating their data, from SharePoint, getting it onto SharePoint from
Sh-
whatever they were coming from Google
Sure,
Drive or whatever,
sure.
and just supporting the companies for that.
Gotcha, gotcha. And so at some point you made the decision to transition over into Scrum. So uh, I know that you weren't one of the first people who went through the program, right? I had a few other people go through. So what was kind of that turning point, or what was it that made you say, you know what, I'm going to make the commitment to go get certified, enroll in the program, and see this thing through?
From the first time I got into the program with you, or because there was a little bit of a lull there in between.
Yeah, talk about all of that. Talk about all
Okay,
of that.
okay, okay, okay. Oh gosh, you want me to get bare with it? Good grief. So when I first went through the program, knowing you, and of course it was like, your credibility with me was high because you always had decent level of advice, decent success around you. So I was like, this guy, and he tells it like it is. So
Boy,
I
thank
got
you. Thank
right,
you.
right. So, and it gives you the tough love too. So yeah, it's a little tough love. Anyway, so I went through the program, the first portion, and I kind of went through it. But at the time, I was also experiencing a little bit of stability on this side over here, so I wasn't as urgent. I didn't have really. I wasn't urgently attacking, devouring the information or putting myself out there to get my foot in the door as I should
Yeah,
have been. Right, got a little a little comfortable, a little complacent. Because after one of those spamming times, I was like, okay, I'm good, right? So but after a while, I started seeing, okay, I made this commitment, one, to myself, to you, to my family. I told them, hey, I'm making this transition. I remember I told my mom, she would ask me every so often, hey, how's that Scrum thing going, or whatever. She would ask me, Scrum, whatever we call it. So I told her, I said, it's going good. But really, I was like, I haven't been going through putting the steps together, to actually get my work done, to make the steps, to make it happen. I wasn't really doing
right,
what I needed to make it happen.
right,
So after a while, I started seeing other people come through the program who started after me, and then seeing them get success and get into their things and their kudos and their congratulations. I think the turning point was really after seeing a few of those and said, you know what, it's time to get serious. My birthday was coming around this particular year, and I was like, Brandon, it's time to kick it in high gear. Oh, one of my friends, one of our mutual friends, came through the program and landed his positions and stuff, and took off. I was
sure.
like, okay, this is a guy. I was like, not to anything for anybody, but I was like, it's possible. The ability to make this happen is solely in my hands. If I want to actually pursue it, I can go do it, right?
Sure.
Because I got all the tools, I got all the support around me, I got the
Sure.
program.
Sure. And I
So
think, right, to speak to that, like, this is a guy, and I think you're probably talking about DeAndre, right?
yes, Andrew, yes.
People can look up his interview in the interview series as well. But this is a guy who we graduated high school around the same time, right?
Hmm.
We all worked at Radio Shack as sales associates together around
Yes,
the same time.
yes.
We all hung out rather often. We were all kind of like, in the beginning, kind of like equal knowledge as it relates to IT.
Mm,
And here you are getting into the program, man, months before this guy,
yeah,
and you didn't take it seriously. And then you see him come in and he goes through the program in 60 days and gets his first offer.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh, what is that gut punch like to you when you have to look in the mirror and be like, yo, what am I doing? He's like, he's six
It
figured
was
up now, and I'm still,
right,
feasting or famining
right,
depending on, what month it is, right? How does that
right.
gut punch feel, and how do you take that wake up call seriously to help you make that transition?
It was just trying to own up to, hey, you're playing a lot smaller than you should.
Mm,
I forget the quote, but it says, when you don't, I forget how it goes. I'm messing it up terribly, but something
sure.
to the effect of, when you not living up to your potential is a disservice to those who believe in you, something like
Mm,
that, right?
sure,
And
sure.
I was like, okay, let me get this thing together. So but the gut punch did feel like, it hit differently because this is somebody I grew up with, essentially
Right.
grew up in our
Right.
adulthood with, versus everybody else who came through. They didn't really know me. I didn't really know them. They really,
Right.
but now this guy is like, he's close to me. And this is the guy I was like, hey, you should come try this. You should come do this. As I was already in it, you trying to get him to come in it. He came in and
Right.
leapfrogged me. So
Right.
now, like, okay. So anyway, so that's what kind of got me. I said, let's get serious. Let's plug away. Let's get 60 days of just concerted effort, consistent concerted effort, and just put it down and do the activities and let the results fall where they may.
Hmm.
So that's what yeah. So that was how I landed my first position. Well, successfully went through the program and landed my first position.
Sure. So you lock all the way in. How many different interviews did you have before you successfully landed your first position?
It wasn't that many. I think it was maybe about six or so.
Okay.
Six, yeah, 6 or 7. Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of those you made it through to the final round, as you said, and they
Mm-hmm.
just went with a different candidate, just maybe
Right.
due to a personality match or something of that nature. So tell us about that first position you landed, salary, industry, and kind of what your experience was like, and um, how you've transitioned into the position that you're in now,
Well, that first position, the offer
if you
was,
remember.
I think it was like $60 an hour, around there, somewhere around there. So
The
it was on,
120K.
yeah, around 120K, a little over 120. So, but get my
Give you
change.
okay, 123, 124 ish.
Yeah, with a few little sign-on bonuses and stuff like that. But anyways,
Okay.
um, after that one, I worked that one for about a year and transitioned. Got landed a separate position,
Hmm.
and now was right around 61. So right around the same. So it keeps me where I am. I'm actually still there now and loving it, loving my team, and what's going well.
So if someone would have told you before you started the program and before you made this transition that you could consistently earn what it is you're currently earning,
Mhm.
working for the type of organization that you're working for,
Mhm.
what would you have said? What limiting beliefs did you have about yourself and maybe the skill set necessary to do this?
Well, at first it was you mentioned limiting beliefs. When you're going into something new, it's natural to have a little bit of fear, a little trepidation, or whatever, because you're like, oh my gosh, what if it's something I don't know, or what if someone asks me a question and I'm not ready, or what if they find out, or what if I'm not able to do it to the level I want to do it at,
Hmm.
because you're coming into a new industry, right? So I had those. I think it's natural to have those. What else? What else? What else? What else? As far as earning the income, I didn't think I had any limiting beliefs on ability to earn the income. It was more along the lines of going into a new industry, learning it, getting acclimated to it, and that's kind of a imposter syndrome kind of feel because you're trying something new.
Sure, because you had, many years of experience in your current industry and you had to make that transition. I know a lot of times for people that transition can be scary. A lot of people don't embrace change. And so
Yeah.
it's human nature to want things to stay the same. And so we
Mhm.
either have to push ourselves or find people to help push us along
Mhm.
to move us to that next level. So,
Amen.
um, so tell me about, and I didn't get to ask a couple of my other people this yet, but tell me about like your what is a Scrum money purchase that you have made already? Hey, we got a guest in the back.
Oh
Hey,
my
she ran out. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
God.
So tell me about a Scrum money purchase that you have made and that you're planning on making with the new earned income that you've been able to achieve.
Scrum money purchase. That's
Yeah, Scrum money, right? So let
uh,
me so
I'm
let me
I'm I'm a simple guy, so I'm not a simple guy. I don't have any like baubles or anything I'm trying to get, but I am trying to buy a home. So
okay.
that's yeah, I'm in the
That's
middle.
that's Scrum money. That's Scrum money. I know the market is up and is stuck right now.
Right.
So yeah, best wishes in finding a home. Best wishes. Yeah, we'll
I'm
just
yeah,
say
man.
that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So tell me about like, so what's something that you would say to someone who's like thinking about joining the program, or maybe someone who doesn't believe that they can do it, or maybe they feel like they don't have a skill set to make this transition?
I would just encourage them, like we always say, we've seen enough, and I mean, like numbers and numbers of people come through the program who had like no experience, no IT experience, no software experience, no technical background from all walks of life. So old, young, single moms, single dads. I mean, people from different ethnicities. So there's it's been a proven model that it works if you actually just get in, apply yourself, and actually go through the program. So I would just encourage anyone who wants to make this transition to actually just put in the work and believe that they can do it.
Let me ask you about this because you said something interesting, right? And you said something that a lot of people kind of have a specific mindset on as they're transitioning. You said a lot of people that don't have IT experience. And
Mhm.
so I'd like to ask you, what are some of the, now that you're in it, right, and you weren't in IT uh, prior,
Yeah.
prior to your help desk roles and your support roles, what are some of the skills that a lot of people underestimate that are transferable from other types of positions like education, like
Okay.
healthcare,
Okay.
like customer service? What are those skills that translate into IT and that organizations and hiring managers see value in that maybe people don't know are necessarily valuable?
I got you. I think people have a tendency to undervalue the soft skills, you know. So like being able to communicate effectively, to deliver data or to have conflict resolution skills. All these things play a part, especially within Scrum,
Hmm.
because a lot of this role is facilitation, organizing people, and and a lot of foresight as well. So being able to see from a 30,000 foot view what the developers or software engineers can't see because they're in the work. You can stand back and kind of give um,
Different
what's
perspective, right?
a different perspective, not such a technical perspective, but from the viewpoint of the customer or the stakeholder, so you can actually see it from a different point of view. So I think those are some skills and things that are transferable from other walks of life. But one more piece I'll add to that is within Scrum specifically, if you have knowledge in a certain area. So if you come from healthcare and you come
Mhm.
into a position like one of the companies I worked for was healthcare IT company, a healthcare software company. And so that I knew that came into that type of industry who had prior experience, whether they were a nurse before or LVN, RN, or radio tech, whatever,
Right.
they had so much more insight into the position because when they saw their guys working on a piece of software for an RN, they knew firsthand what that experience was like. What
Sure.
when they're inputting any patient data or whatever, so they had firsthand experience. So all those skills, everything works together. So that, along with going through a program such as this one, can really fully prepare you. So
For sure. For sure. Thank you for that. So tell us what's next for you. What are some of the next goals that you're working on achieving, and where do you want to go from here now that you've had success in several different industries as it relates to IT? What do you see as next for you?
what's next for me is I'm looking for an agile coach, and for the longer future, agile director. So agile coach is what I'm eyeballing right now.
Okay. And so um, who do you what skills do you need to acquire to make yourself the ideal candidate for those types of transitions?
Outside of picking up a few more pieces of education and certifications, the primary thing I feel like I would need to be better prepared for that is getting more experience in coaching, more experience coaching up. So coaching up to the organization, coaching other Scrum Masters, taking on that role, taking on that, and just taking that initiative of my own to then volunteer, coaching, looking for ways I can fill any gaps, and coaching up to the organization.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love it. Brandon, if someone is considering joining the program or is interested in transitioning into a career as a Scrum Master, what is one piece of advice that you would give them to get them to take that leap of faith?
Just do it.
And
It
I see
sounds
that,
too
right?
simple. It sounds too simple, but I mean, if it's something that they feel is a good positive next step for them, I just want them to have the belief that they can do it, and as long as they plug into a program like this, get the community around you. I'm not sure have you talked about that yet, but whether it's the group messaging, because everybody if you're going through class with is one thing, but then all the alumni
Sure,
able to pour into you, and everybody has a wealth of experience outside of your own to help you make each step. So my
sure,
my advice is to take that first step. Every other step you'll be guided. So
sure, sure. I love it. Um, well, Brandon, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. If you or anyone that you know is interested in transitioning into a career as a Scrum Master or any other career in IT, we've got several other programs that we're spinning up and are probably going to be available by the time that you're watching this, such as Linux Engineer, Security, Salesforce. Um, Go to our website. Take a look. I'll put the link to the website. I don't know, here or down here. It'll be somewhere on screen. You can take a look at it. But we appreciate your time. You can check out more videos from our Agile Leadership series at scrumlife.com. That'll take you to our YouTube page, and you can subscribe there to see other stories of Scrum Masters in the circle of success that have gone through the program and successfully made that career transition to the role of a Scrum Master. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming episode. Have a wonderful evening. Peace. Thanks, Brandon.
thanks.